All right, we're playing Edison Format. We're going to show off our Lightsworn deck profile. So first we've got the 2 Judgment Dragons. And then we're going to be playing the 3 Wolves. Always want to see that card milled to the graveyard. And then we're going to be playing the 3 YuGiOh, fairly standard on the Lightsworn engine. The 2 Lila, be popping those back rows. I only play 1 Celestia. And then for the next ones, I play the 3 Warriors, Aaron, Jane, and Garoth. I think Aaron is super good and slept on. We've got the best Lightsworn, the Lumina, unfortunately limited, and the Honests, obviously very good for the Lightsworn deck, protecting all of your names, and your Judgment Dragon if it ever comes up, but probably not too much. We've got the Nimble Hamster to go grab the YuGiOhs, and the Card Trooper, the Honorary Lightsworn. We've got some Hand Trap Protection and Tragodia. I don't play Gores in this deck, but I do play Tragodia. Thinking about cutting the Chaos Sort for Gores, but kind of back and forth on that. I like Chaos Sort, especially if you're trying to close out game, getting rid of a problematic card. And then, of course, Caius. Just super good, being able to tribute over and banish something. Just a really good card. One of the format staples. And then we've got the Necro Gardener and Plague Spreader. Plague being our only tuner, so that's how we're going to go into our synchro plays. Necro for some protection in the battle phase. And moving on to spells. 3 Solar Recharge. You want to see this in your opening hand all the time. If you can get 2 of these resolved in a game, you are doing pretty good. Best spell in the deck, Charge of the Light Brigade. It's your Searcher, and you get a mill 3. Just really awesome. Sucks that it's limited, but it is what it is. Then we've got 2 Gold Sark. We definitely want to get JD in hand and not mill, so this is a good way to prevent that. If you see this early on. Also, if you already have JD in hand, then you could also go for the Cold Wave or Heavy Storm, something like that. Or if you have no engine going whatsoever, you can Gold Sark for Charge of the Light Brigade. That's another option. And then we're running 2 Book of Moon. Don't really see too many Lightsworn players running this anymore. I just think Book of Moon is just such a good card. It's really good in Lightsworns, I feel, because you can do things like book your opponent's monster, problematic monster, and then attack over with Aaron. You can flip YuGiOh, and then under Light Imprisoning Mirror, you can activate YuGiOh's effect, and then Book of Moon him, and it will resolve. Same thing with JD. You can JD effect to blow up the field, and then you can chain Book of Moon, so flip him face down, and he still blow up the field, and JD will not get blown up. So just some really unique techs that you can do with Lightsworns and Book of Moon. But overall, it's just a really solid card. And we've got Foolish Burial and Brain Control, just some closeout cards. Brain Control, obviously, if you want to maybe do like a synchro play with Plague, or just really good to close out a game. As well as Foolish Burial, super good in Lightsworns because you can send more than just like Plague or Necro. You can send Wolf to special summon him. It's a really good way to get a Lightsworn on the field for Celestia. So a lot of times I will Foolish Burial for Wolf just to tribute him to summon Celestia and get my pop 2 mill 4. So just a really good card in this deck overall. And your back row hate, your Cold Wave and Heavy Storm. Heavy Storm just to clear the field. Maybe if you don't have Cold Wave, or just to just get rid of some back row. And Cold Wave into Judgment Dragon, best combo in this deck. That's just so devastating. Very hard to recover from for the opponent. And if you Cold Wave JD, chances are you're probably winning that game. They're probably folding right after that. So that's it for the spells. Lastly, for the traps, this can be changed up a little bit, but I do run 1 Needlebug Nest, 1 Beckoning Light, 1 Threatening Roar, and 1 Solemn Judgment. Not many people run Solemn Judgment in Lightsworns, but often if I can get a Judgment set before I summon JD, I just feel a lot more safe. Or maybe they have a Judgment for your Cold Wave and you can Judgment their Judgment. Realistically, Solemn Judgment here is just to make sure that your JD play is going to happen. Threatening Roar to protect your Lumina or just to not die. Beckoning Light, playing 2 Gold Sark, you might not need Beckoning Light, but there's still a chance that you're going to mill JD, so you want to get him back to hand, maybe you want to get Honest, maybe you want to get Lumina. You never know. And then Needlebug Nest, I like this card a lot just because it really gets your engine going, and it's really good offensively and defensively. You can mill Necrogardna in your opponent's battle phase. You can mill Wolf in your opponent's battle phase or your own battle phase for protection or more aggression. You can also just mill into your Plague Spreader, and now you have Plague plays. So a lot of cool things you can get with Needlebug Nest, and I just think it's a really good card. Next, going into the extra deck, we're running pretty standard synchro package of Mistworm, Red Dragon Archfiend, Thought Ruler, Stardust, and Colossal. Those are your level 8 and aboves. Nothing to say too much here. I like Thought Ruler just so he can't be brain controlled and get some life points back if we're pretty low from Solemn Judgment or Judgment Dragon going into the late game. Just, pretty standard synchro monsters here. Then you've got your 2 level 7s being Black Rose, aka Judgment Dragon number 3, and Arcanite Magician. Since we are playing, some of the Lightsworns are spellcasters, we can actually make Arcanite Magician. Just another form of removal. Super good. Your level 6s, best synchro monster, second best synchro monster, and just another level 6 in case you want to get some burn damage for the win. Tempest, once again, playing spellcaster, so you can actually make them. Brio, pitch the dead wolves that are inevitably going to end up in your hand. Just some really good stuff. You can also discard Plagues, discard Necros, discard, just whatever's dead in your hand, because sometimes, or a lot of times, it's going to be that wolf. That's the thing with playing 3 wolves. But we are also playing 1 Armory Arm and 1 Catastor. Don't really see these 2 come up very often. Sometimes you might have a Lumina and Plague. You might go into Catastor to take care of a problematic monster, but, they're there just in case. And then the last few are fusions. So 1 fusion, pretty standard, is your Chimera tech for your contact fusion with your Cyber Dragons. The last 2 are my spicy tech options. I actually play 1 Elemental Hero Absolute Zero and 1 Gaia. The reason I play this is you'll see in my side deck I actually play Super Polymerization. So let me see, I'll grab that card here real quick if I can find it. Super Poly is crazy against heroes. So a lot of times you're going to have a hero player who is starting to work on building up their field, and they're going to have a Malicious on field with a Deep Sea Diva, and you can just Super Poly those away and interrupt their combo and make a Absolute Zero. If you have your Card Trooper or Hamster out in the field, you could also make a Gaia when they summon Stratos or something like that. Just a couple different things you can do. It's good against Hero Beat. It's good against Diva Hero. So I just think it's a nice little tech. Don't see too many people running Super Poly. Definitely catches people off guard. Had a couple people be very surprised by that. And then for the side deck, we are running the 2 Cyber Dragon to take care of those machine decks and just being able to contact fuse. Also just nice going second, just to have a big boy that can beat over things like Shura and whatnot, or just 1900 attack monsters. Some decks play those. And then you've got your DD Crows, just for any of those matchups that like to summon things out of the graveyard a lot. Zombies, Monarchs, Dragons. Those are really good matchups. Or those are really good. It's a really good card for those matchups. The next 2 cards I have a little unconventional. Don't really see this too much. But I'm playing a second Aaron and a Rhoda. Rhoda's not too uncommon in Lightsworns, but 2 Aarons would be. I like this for a lot of matchups that set monsters. I know that Aaron still lets flip effects activate, but against zombies, a lot of zombie players like to set their goblin zombies or their pyramid turtles. So that's really good to get those back in the deck without giving them their effect, as well as it pairs really well with the 2 Book of Moon in the main deck. So being able to book an opponent's problematic monster and then shuffle it back into the deck, whether it be a synchro or just a monster that has a good graveyard effect. You know, maybe it's a floodgate monster. You know, just tons of things that, you know, that combo works out pretty well. Then some more back row hate. Pretty much always going to have to side in at least Mystical Space Typhoon. I used to run 2 Twister. It just depends on how often I run into Light Imprisoning Mirror. You know, there's a couple ways around Light Imprisoning Mirror. The 2 Book of Moon plus a Raikou plus a JD, one of those combos can take care of it, but MST is good to have. You also have Heavy Storm. Truenade's pretty good if you're going up against someone who likes to run Starlight Road. I actually like Truenade better than Heavy Storm because of that. Don't really want to give them a Stardust Dragon because that's really hard for us to deal with. And then I run 2 Smashing Ground. Main reason I run this, I might actually change this to Soul Taker, because even though it gives the opponent 1,000 life points, being able to choose your target might be more important for the purpose of this card. But the main purpose of running Smashing Ground or Soul Taker would be to deal with floodgates. Things like Thunder King YuGiOh, you've got Banisher of the Radiance. I know it's not too common, but you know, you've got some rogue decks out there. Those stun decks like to play cards like that. You've also got your Christias and your Vanity's Fiend. So, you know, you want to be able to special summon that Judgment Dragon. So you need to get those problematic cards off the field so you can start going ham. And then, of course, you've got the 1 Super Poly. And then I also run 2 Royal Decree. And the last 2 cards, I'm actually missing. I don't have them in my collection, and I did not feel like paying for them. But I run 2 Pulling the Rug. Just really good against Monarchs as well as against the machine decks like the Gadgets, and just good cards overall. But that is it for my Lightsworn deck profile for Edison. If you guys have any suggestions, let me know. But thanks for watching. Catch you guys next time.